So this is a game I'm working on called You Probably Won't Survive. This is a top-down zombie survival game where you can chop down trees, build bases, and try to survive waves of zombies and other monsters. Ever since the rise of AI and game development, with tools like ChatGPT being able to code entire games, like when I remade Minecraft with ChatGPT, I've always wondered if AI could remake my game, but better. This is Rosebud. Rosebud is a revolutionary game engine that uses AI to create games from text. You tell Rosebud what you want to create, and Rosebud will program it into a game. So I wanted to test Rosebud's AI game creator to see if it can remake my game, but I'm gonna try remake my game in 3D. This video has been sponsored by Rosebud. You can use my link in the description to check out Rosebud and make some games with AI. You can also use the code BGD to get a free month on the Rosebud paid plans, which allows you more prompts and other exclusive features. Like I mentioned, Rosebud is an AI-powered game development engine that is great for making games, but also great for generating assets, suggesting feature ideas, and prototyping. I actually recently created a video on the Rosebud YouTube channel where I discuss 5 ways Rosebud can be used for game development. So if you're interested in seeing how you can use Rosebud as a great game development tool, I'll leave a link in the description to the Rosebud YouTube channel. Anyway, let's try remake our game with AI. Alright guys, so here we are over on Rosebud. Now, I've already made a video on Rosebud before, and in that video I basically tested out Rosebud's AI game creator, tried making a few projects, but since that video, Rosebud has added plenty of new features. And one of the biggest features they've added is the ability to make 3D games. As you can see here, you can create a 3D template, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn our 2D top-down game into a 3D game. So we're going to go ahead and start with this template here, 3D blank, which will create a 3D game environment. So as you can see, the Rosebud game editor has upgraded. You've got the chatbot here, which you essentially use to build your game. You've got the game preview here. Over here, you can generate all your assets. So you can go ahead and you can change what type of asset you want to make, whether it's a 2D asset or a 3D asset. You describe the asset, Rosebud will create it, and you can also look at the game code here. So let's go ahead and jump into our preview and start working on our game. So this is what we're going to send through. Let's add a feature so you can look left and right with the mouse. First, let's set it up so we can detect when the mouse is moving. We'll make it so clicking the screen locks the mouse pointer, but we won't actually rotate the camera just yet. So what I like is it's told us there's an error in the game code. We can just click this and that should hopefully work. All right, so as you see, if we go ahead and click on our game, our mouse will be locked onto the game. So that's kind of what we want, since this game is going to use a 3D environment. The next thing we're going to send is let's smoothly rotate the camera for side-to-side movement of the mouse only. All right, so as you can see now, if we click on our game, we can look around the world map. All right, so as you can see, our player in this game is kind of just floating. So we're going to ask Rosebud, can you put our player on the ground? And just see what happens. All right, so as you can see, our player has been moved to the ground. We can move around, but we need to fix the player movement system. So here we are, and that is a lot smoother. So that's awesome. All right, so I've gotten Rosebud to add a crosshair to the center of the screen by typing that. And as you can see, we now have a crosshair in our game. So this at the moment does not look like our game. So we've generated a new asset here. We've generated a sand floor terrain, and this is going to be used for the floor of our map. Obviously, our game is on an island, so we want this game to be on an island. So let's go ahead and click insert. So let's see what happens if we try to add our asset as the floor. And there we go. Okay, that kind of looks cool. All right, so we've adjusted the sand so it kind of looks more like sand for our island. And what I've actually sent is just add some 3D trees. So let's see what happens. I'm not actually going through the asset generator to do this. I'm just sending through the chat and seeing what happens. Whoa, okay, we've got trees. I thought that would be a little bit more complicated to do, but all we had to do to get this was just say, add some trees. All right, I'm gonna try something similar and see what happens. I'm gonna say, turn our map into an island and have water surrounding a portion of the game map. I don't know if this is going to work. Whoa, okay. It looks like we have an island created. This is really cool. I'm gonna say raise the sand level a little so the water doesn't keep spawning over the sand, because as you can see here, there's a little visual glitch where the water will just randomly do that. Let's see if that works. I think that should. Cool, it does. No, it doesn't. I think it's just a visual glitch, but it definitely doesn't happen as much as it just happened again. We're just going to say raise it higher. Okay, this kind of works, but unfortunately the trees have sort of gone into the sand. I also think I need to raise the player level. All right, cool. So that pretty much fixed the bug. So now we have an island, we've got our trees. I think it's time to spawn in some zombies. So since in the last few prompts, just telling Rosebud what I want has worked, we're going to say add a 3D zombie and see what happens. Obviously, there's so much that goes into an enemy AI for a game. You have to program the enemy system. You have to create the asset of the enemy. Let's see if just typing this can do that all for me. It looks like Rosebud is creating a function to generate a zombie character and add a zombie movement logic. In the code right here, it's creating the zombie, and it looks like it's animating the zombie as well. That's the zombie there. There's another one here. Okay. All right, so it's definitely created zombies. And you know what? They kind of look like the zombies from our game anyway. I like that. That kind of works. We just have to make a few adjustments to the zombies, but hey, we've got zombies. All right, so I've updated the zombies so they spawn a little bit more spread out. They're also not as massive as they were, and they also have randomized speed, so some zombies will move faster than others. I think that's just an effective way to add enemies to the game. Cool, you know what? I'll take that. Our game has zombies, but obviously our game does not have a way to take out these zombies. So you know what? We're just gonna say add a first-person shooter gun for the player. So there's definitely a gun. As you can see, I'm clicking and it's creating a shooting effect. So that's cool. Let's see if it actually works on the zombies. It does. Awesome. So that's literally all I had to say. Add a gun to the player and it just codes everything. So let's go ahead and try to take out this zombie here. Cool. All right, so we've generated a new asset in our asset generator for a gun sprite, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and click insert here, and in our code, we're going to say as a UI overlay. So essentially my idea is to just have a sprite of a gun on the UI overlay to sort of show the player that it's an FPS game. And there we go. As you can see, we've now got a gun. There we go. I've now added it so that whenever you shoot the gun, the 2D sprite will be animated. All right, so our game works on a wave system where you basically have to take out all the enemies to move on to the next wave, and each wave becomes more and more difficult. We're going to say make a wave system that spawns zombies. I could go into heaps of detail with what I want created in this wave system, but I really just want Rosebud to sort of interpret it how they think and then add it to the game. We're on the first wave here. We've got 5 zombies remaining, so let's take out the zombies. There we go. Cool. All right, nice. And then our next wave is going to start, as you can see. So all I had to tell Rosebud was to make a wave system, and it's just created this. All right, so this is pretty much my game made by AI. Okay, so we've asked Rosebud for a feature suggestion, and they've added in power-ups. So let's see what these power-ups do. We've got one here. Let's do it. Speed boost active. Okay, I like that. And there we go, we've pretty much recreated our game in 3D using AI. Obviously, there's a lot more I could add to this game, but this just shows what the Rosebud game creator can do. With just a few prompts, I was able to generate this remake of my game. Anyway, that's our game remade in AI. If you want to check out Rosebud, you can use the link in the description. Once again, you can also use the code BGD to get a free month on the Rosebud paid plans. If you want to check out more of my content, be sure to visit my website over at badgamedev.fun, where you can check out my videos, games, and even my Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. You can also leave a comment and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Peace.